Together, the investments we're announcing today represent over $162 million in additional support for the City of Toronto. And critically for me, it's for the city, it's for the most vulnerable people in this city.
Canada's finance minister there announcing the Trudeau government will provide Toronto $162 million in funding, $143 million of which will help support the influx of asylum claimants arriving in Toronto. The remaining money to help low-income people pay their rent. Remember, Toronto's Mayor Olivia Chow had been demanding $250 million from the federal government to help house asylum seekers, warning Toronto would be prepared to raise property taxes by an additional 6% if the government didn't come through. The city already announced a 9.5% tax hike earlier this week, with 8% as a residential tax rate increase and 1.5% for the city's building fund. So is that number now going to go up further? Very happy to have Toronto's Mayor Olivia Chow joining me now live. Mayor Chow, thanks for your time. Great to have you with us on Power Play.
Good afternoon.
What does the funding mean for Toronto taxpayers?
The funding means for the 6,000 refugees that are housed by the City of Toronto right now, it means that there's hope for them. And then for those that are leaving, fleeing war, whether it's in Ukraine or in elsewhere, or they're leaving because they are being persecuted, whether because of their sexual orientation, it means that when they come to Canada, they would not have to sleep on the street or on the parks or even in airports. So for them, it means that there will be a roof over their head. This amount, it pays the dollar that the City of Toronto have spent already in 2023, which is $200 million. There was a $97 million that was promised by the Prime Minister when I first became the mayor. But because the number of refugees shot up, we needed another $103 million, and that is what today's announcement would do. Now, because the federal fiscal year is different than ours, the budget will come sometime May, whether it's March, April, May, or whenever. That budget will hopefully have another new program. But right now, the finance minister have put in a down payment. So we are being paid for the first quarter, because our fiscal year starts in January. So the $40 million is a down payment for this 2024, which means the City of Toronto no longer needs to go to our property tax base to fund the services that we need to fund to shelter refugees.
Yeah. What does it mean?
Sorry.
What does it mean for Toronto taxpayers, though, who of course fund your government? Does it mean that there will be no more tax increases? As you know, there's some backlash over this big property tax increase, the biggest in 25 years for your city.
Yes, I do understand that. It means the pressure is off. It means that on average, the homeowners in the City of Toronto will pay less than $1 a day in terms of the increase of taxes. It's quite modest. And also it means that for tenants, they will not, 1 out of 2 residents in Toronto are tenants. They will not see a rent increase. Because we lowered the multi-residential tax rate to 3.5%. All in all, the pressure is no longer on the property tax base, that's why I've said I'm very grateful to the federal government, to the Deputy Prime Minister, Chrystia Freeland, for her contribution to the City of Toronto.
So you're saying that this federal funding may be enough to avoid further tax hikes, yes?
That's right. Exactly.
Can I also ask you, originally you had asked for $250 million. This announcement today was $162 million, so there's a discrepancy there. I know some money was announced by the finance minister earlier in the year, but it was about $97 million, give or take. But after that, you asked for $250 million. You're hoping to get yet more in the new budget, correct?
That's right, because that's the 200 million is 2023 money we've already spent, which they've made us whole from this. And then there's the 2024 budget. Given what they've just done, it allows us to give us the fiscal room to be able to carry on the services. We don't have to close down any services, and they've just put the down payment in. That gives us comfort that we can continue. Todd, there's one other thing though. There's about 20 million in the housing benefits program, which is a rent supplement program. A lot of refugees, a lot of people that are down on their luck, lost their job, end up staying in our shelter. They actually have some income. They may be working. They just need a bit of help to find the kind of housing that is permanent for them. And that's what the rent supplement can do. This will benefit 2,000 people where they could find their own homes, cook their own meals, become independent, get back on their feet, and be able to stabilize their life. And that's something that we really welcome. It's called the Canada-Ontario Housing Benefit Program. Already 3,000 people we've helped. Another 2,000 is going to join this program. It's very successful, very popular, and is very, very important and much needed to get people back on their feet.
And hey, Mayor Chow, let me ask you, for taxpayers who are feeling the squeeze, I did mention the highest tax increase since the late 90s. You have said the city cannot cut its budget, cannot cut its way out of this problem by cutting the budget. Were tax increases that high, though, really justified? Were there not other areas where you could have cut more? Not down to the bone, as you've said, but some programs that maybe needed to be reassessed.
Well, we did just that. Remember, I inherited a $1.8 billion budget deficit, something that I did not create. It's a gigantic hole that I have to fill. And I have to get the city back on track, because if we don't face this reality, if we avoid making tough choices, we will forever sink deeper and deeper into this financial hole. So what I did was, immediately when I first got elected, I said, you know what, people that have a bit more money, if they're speculators, if they leave their apartment units vacant, I'm going to charge them more. People that can afford luxury large homes, I'm going to charge them a little bit more. And that's only 3% of the people, but they can afford it. And then we went to the provincial government to say, we need a new deal. So right here in Ontario, we uploaded the provincial highway, Gardner, DVP, and as a result, the Premier Ford was able to give this new deal for the City of Toronto, and we're able to have more funding for transit, for housing, and for small important things like fixing potholes, having good water fountain that works, or washrooms, all of those basic services. So after all that, we then look at our budget line by line, did exactly what you suggested, and reduce the budget and find $620 million saving. That's almost more than $500 million. But at the end of the day,
let me just ask you.
At the end of the day, we still need to find the money in order to. That's why the less than $1 a day of tax increases.
Are you worried? Yeah, are you worried, Mayor Chow, about the political backlash by some taxpayers over this increase against you?
Well, I need to face the tough choices. We cannot continue. It's not a financial mess that I created, but I have to deal with it. And we have to get the city back on track. We have to make life affordable for people and make the city a safer place to be, a more caring place. And for those seniors that are worried, for those that are low income, for those that are on disability, the City of Toronto have a tax deferral or tax cancellation program. So you don't have to worry. Come and apply for this program. And maybe you don't know about it. Go find out. Come to our website. The application forms will be out soon so that you don't have to pay the tax increases. Yes, there are homeowners that may not, they're just on edge. They may not have enough, even though it's less than $1 a day. If they don't have it, come and apply for the tax deferral or straight cancellation program, because we won't want to have people experience that kind of hardship. And this program, this budget here, have a lot of funds to protect tenants so that they don't face eviction, so that they can also be able to get protected. And that's one of the biggest investment in this budget. On top of it, the other investment is a lot of funds for public transit, because we need to have better public transit right here in this big city.
Olivia Chow is the Mayor of Toronto. Thank you, Mayor Chow, as always, for your time coming on Power Play today.
Thank you so much, Todd.